playing the Back to the Future Nintendo game. I'm stuck in the past and I gotta get out. Quick, or we all fade away to nothing. Uh-oh, bullies. Ah, you missed. Have a mop, musclehead. I'll clean it up, Mom. I promise. This takes perfect timing. Almost. Mom? Dad? This?
Back to the Future. It's almost like being in the movie. An interactive game from LJN.
Dear court-appointed attorney, judge, and peoples of the court, I am writing this prepared statement to go on record and say, oopsie, my mistake. I thought the person who I was writing to was in fact my mother, and she was someone who was personally ignoring me out of spite for me being a terrible son. However, it has come to my attention that I have been writing to the wrong address, and that I kept ringing the doorbell to the wrong address and threw those eggs at the wrong house. I would like to apologize and plead for the mercy of the court system to allow me to move on and find my birth mother. I'm not quite sure what this has to do with Back to the Future, but we're 14 days in, so I'm just going to go with it. Sincerely, Michael, March 14th, 2021.
1, 2, 3.
Marchy McFly, Marchy McFly. Marchy McFly is Marchy McFly. Marchy McFly is Marchy McFly. Every day in March I'll be doing the same thing, watching my favorite movie. Back to the Future once a day all month long, 31 straight days for me. Great Scott, this is heavy. It's called Marchy McFly. Follow along with my podcast. Did I mention there's a podcast? It's called Marchy McFly. Won't you please check out my podcast? Please just subscribe to my podcast. It's called Marchy McFly. The podcast is called Geek Mentality, but this is called Marchy McFly.
Hold it, fellas. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Next, please. We have the next group, please.
And a very good Sunday evening, everybody. Welcome to day 14 of Marchy McFly. And that means that we've officially done 2 full weeks. And we have, what do we have? Is it 4.5 weeks? I think that's 5 Mondays in March. 5 Mondays in March is my favorite Turtles album. Anywho, I thought, I just got a live message. This is happening live on the internet from someone named Eric, a friend of mine. Ooh, I like it. Any day. is a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, live on the air right now, I'm here to tell you that I'm going to be scheduling my buddy Eric to be on Marchy McFly this upcoming week. How excited will Eric be when I bestow this honor upon him? I can picture him right now sitting around his phone, and he's just like, he's looking at it and he's waiting. He's like, he read this. Why hasn't he replied? Eric, I haven't replied because I'm doing tonight's episode of Marchy McFly. But I will talk to you very soon. Friends, guess what I did today? You'll never guess. I went for a walk with my dog. But before that, I went grocery shopping. And in between that time, I watched Back to the Future. And I'm actually talking to you from the future right now. 1 hour in the future, to be precise. Because today was the end of daylight savings time or the start of daylight savings time. I'm not sure what it means, but all I know is we put the clocks ahead an hour. So I felt like I slept late, and by that I mean 7:45, but I actually woke up at 6:45. Right now it's 8:24 p.m., but it feels like it's only 7:24 p.m. Isn't it exciting? So, I mean, technically I'm from the future as of yesterday, but by the time you hear this, I'll be long in the past, or at least a few hours, a few days, a few months. This could be years from now. How are you? How am I? Look me up, will you? So, anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was a few different things. Well, that was weird. I found another article on that website, MentalFloss, that talks about Back to the do I even have a phone around here? I mean, this is like, what year is this? You know what? I apologize, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me a moment. I need to answer this. Hello? This is him? Yep. Uh-huh. Yes. All month long. Uh-huh. No. Can I? Yep. Yeah. Back to the Future. Uh-huh. iTunes, Spotify. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Do you need to take a breath or have a drink? Nope. Oh, okay. Yep. You're still going. This is still going. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. Okay, you too. Okay. Huh. Okay, I'm back recording. I just got a weird phone call, but I'm going to edit it out of the episode. My neighbor, apparently, there's been a bunch of people showing up with Marchy McFly signs, and it's kind of been a little bit of a nuisance in the neighborhood, like large crowds, large noises, and it's not, I mean, again, they're not really adhering to COVID protocol, and they've been really loud outside. And I haven't noticed because I'm on my where I am is like at the other side of the house, and the yard is, you know, the street is as far away from the house as possible. But it's good to know you guys have been showing up. I appreciate it. But if you are listening to the show and you are planning on going out there again tonight, please either stay 6 feet away from people, wear a mask, or please don't come, because I do not want the police to be called. We've had enough excitement with the podcast all month long that we don't need any negative publicity. All right, we get enough excellent positive publicity with the local news and some of those national outlets. Anyway, I did find another article from MentalFloss. This one is from last year. It's less than a year old. It is from a fella named Jake Rawson. He is an author for Mental Floss. He's been there for, I don't know. He's a senior staff writer. He's written stuff about Alien, the movie, Tom Cruise, saving Ray-Ban sunglasses, cat, just a cat, a naval cook who became a hero at Pearl Harbor. That's cool. 11 Stephen King's scariest packages. He has one. Never mind. Passages. So it's Rami Malek. So it's a bunch of different things. Gas. A bunch of different general writings. And he wrote an article in 2020 called 5 Popular Back to the Future Fan Theories Examined. And I will add a link to this in the show notes. I don't know. I read this, and again, much like most articles online, when you see something that says 5 of this or 10 of this or whatever, skip, you just, those intro paragraphs, you completely, they could be crafted with love, and you just skip right through them. Like, it's always like, hey, this is what Back to the Future is. And you kind of have to do it. You have to be like, thanks to Doc's DeLorean time machine, Marty winds up in 1955 to save Doc's life and to make sure his parents fall in love. Well, he doesn't actually wind up there to do that, but he does do that there. So even that I'm having a question with. But anyway, the second paragraph, and I'm not going to read the whole article verbatim, but it says, fans of the film have spent the past several decades wrapping their minds around the plot's time travel paradoxes and missing pieces of the plot. Take a look at some of the most popular theories, then check out Back to the Future and its sequels on Netflix to see if they carry any weight. They don't. I'm going to say that right off the bat as a longtime fan. They don't. So this is one of those articles where someone writes something on Reddit, which, again, I don't know much about Reddit. I just created an account today, and from what my understanding is, you're not supposed to don't I've seen in the past where it's like, oh, you're just here to promote your own thing. So I guess they don't like the Reddit users who are general users don't like that. But I'm going to try doing it anyway, because if I can get one person, if you found this through Reddit, it worked. But some articles annoy me, and I see news stories pop up. Like, I have an Android phone and I use Chrome, and the thing that pops up on when you go to the Chrome homepages, you kind of get articles and quote unquote news stories, but mostly they're generalized articles based on things that you've been searching. So I see a lot of Back to the Future stuff. I see a lot of movie stuff. I see some professional wrestling stuff. We don't need to talk about that. But a lot of these articles are and sometimes even like People magazine, they have crappy articles where they see a topic and they go and search for tweets about that topic, and then they're like, fans are not happy about the new Zack Snyder Justice League trailer, and then they found 5 tweets that say something bad, and that's the article. There's no you can find someone who hates and likes everything, so it's like, well, I guess we got to do that. We got to get quality, quantity. This is not quite that, but it is kind of. It's like these are 5. I mean, okay, it says 5 fan theories examined. So it's not 5 popular. It says 5 popular Back to the Future fan theories. So I guess these are popular to the point where someone wants to talk about them. But then again, look at me. I'm talking about the guy who's talking about the article. So I'm no better. But I want to try to give my spin on these things. I read the article already, so I'm going to kind of breeze through it really quick. It says, number 1, Marty McFly's parents knew he was a time traveler. They say how the fact that Calvin Klein dropped into their lives in 1955 to make sure their romance was intact. One theory explained by a Redditor named DJ Bread18 offers that George and Lorraine did recognize him. And it says, they have 30 years to figure it out, the user said. Well, why would they have 30 years to figure it out? Once he was gone, they probably didn't think much about it. Oh, that cool kid who came into town. And why would they have, I don't know. The user said, crucially, George heard Calvin using the names Darth Vader and Vulcan and the Vulcan race. before they materialize, affect any science fiction author like George would have picked up on. So, okay, they're saying George, first of all, believes in someone coming down from a space, from the future. Not from the future, but from space. And then he sees that I already talked about this, where maybe he thinks that this Darth Vader has gone to other people and that's where they got the name from. But would he put 2 and 2 together? Because he didn't hear Calvin use the name Darth Vader in Vulcan. He didn't. He heard Darth Vader use that name. So George did not hear that. This article is bothering me already. A scene late in the film where Marty's parents give him a brand new truck and offer a knowing smile could be read as a thank you for his efforts. Like they're at the door saying, "We did it." Nope. I don't. I mean, why would they come to the door? I guess to see a truck that he's already seen. I don't know. Or I don't know. I guess that's one little thing. Like, why'd they show that? But the whole thing of quote unquote Calvin using the names of Darth Vader and Vulcan, wrong. He didn't. They didn't know that. A spaceman in a yellow suit is said that. George had no idea it was Calvin or Marty or anything. So this is debunked by me. And it, again, Bob Gale in 2020 said again, I have an actual quote. I would ask anyone to think back to their own high school days and ask themselves how well they remembered a kid who have been at their school for even a semester, or someone you went out with just once. If you had no photo reference after 21 years, you'd probably have a hazy recollection. Yeah, maybe he kind of looks like him. I had a friend in first grade, and he moved away, and I haven't seen him since. Now, if I looked up the name, I would, if I saw him, I think that's him, even though, he was 6 then, and now he'd be 45 or whatever. So I don't know if I would recognize him. I see guys in high school on Facebook, and I'm like, yes, they seem familiar, and I went to high school with them. Okay, number 2. I'm moving on. Number 2, Doc Brown was suicidal. I guess these are fun, hey, this is like me playing out these little references, but so I shouldn't be that annoyed or not annoyed, but I shouldn't be like, what is the point of this? These guys are having fun on Reddit coming up with all these fun little theories. I've had my own. So I'm enjoying this a little more now, even if I'm disagreeing. Disagreeing is not a word. I'm disagreeing. So it says, while testing his DeLorean in the Twin Pines parking lot, Doc Brown steps directly in front of the car traveling at 88. The only way he wouldn't be crushed is if his experimental succeeds and the car vanishes. Yet Doc makes mention of other experiments being disappointed. So someone had an idea that he had a death wish. So he stood in front. He's like, look, if this doesn't work, I don't mind. I'm ready to die. Well, would he be ready to kill Marty too? Someone actually asked Christopher Lloyd about this, and he's like, I don't think so. Again, Christopher Lloyd is the actor, so it's not like he knows, unless, of course, they talked to him about it. Doc had so much confidence in what he was doing, he didn't worry about that. Maybe a little doubtful, but Doc didn't have a grim nature. Right, Christopher Lloyd. But he says, you have given me a lot to think about. Number 3, and this is the silliest one of them all. And it says, Marty McFly's actions altered his girlfriend's appearance. In the first Back to the Future, Claudia Wells portrayed Jennifer. In Back to the Future 2, Elizabeth Shue took over the role because Wells was dealing with a sickness in her family. I believe it was her mother. So a Redditor named Jiggy with a 1, J1GGY, said Marty's presence resulted in unseen but demonstrative effects in the lives of Jennifer's parents, possibly even resulting in Jennifer having a different mother or father, because Marty seems slightly confused by Jennifer at the beginning of Back to the Future 2. So they're saying Marty acted different at the beginning of Back to the Future 2 than he did at the end of Back to the Future 1. Excuse me, but it's the same scene. And I know it's not exactly the same scene, but it's played to be the exact same scene. So Jennifer already looks like Jennifer at the end of 1 when they fly to the future. If they did something, no, it wouldn't work. Now, if they edited it and it was Jennifer right away, maybe that makes a little sense. But he's confused because he hadn't seen her in a week, and he can't believe he's finally seeing her again, even though it's been a day for her. So that, again, is another... that one is like the first one, nope. At least the thing with the Darth Vader. Number 2, Doc was suicidal. That one's fun. Because I've said, what happens if it did, I've thought that before. What happens if it didn't work? Would Marty be able to jump away in time? Would Doc be able to jump away in time? Would he? Number 3 here, Marty's actions altered his girlfriend's appearance. I don't like that one at all. Number 4, Marty may have actually turned Biff Tannen's life around. I could see this. At the beginning, we see the Biff's a bully, pushing George around, demanding he perform Biff's work, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the film, Biff is in a subservient role, waxing George's car as part of his work, owning an auto detailing company. But as a Reddit user, SatNav points out, that may have been the best for Biff. He went from being dependent on George to assist him with his job to owning his own small business. I don't think the dependent on George to assist him is the thing that bettered him. I think the fact that he was a bully and a jerk, and the fact that now he's kind of the George. He's lying about waxing the car. He's trying to still get away with it, and he's like just a kiss ass now. So I don't know if it bettered his life. Now we could talk about the future and what we know what happens in the future, and he, as an old man, he makes some really poor decisions. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. And number 5, lastly, Doc Brown kills Marty. This was an interesting. This is me also trying to think of the time over and over and over again, like going back. At the conclusion of Back to the Future, time travel, Marty returns from 1955 to witness 1985, Marty disappearing in the DeLorean. Well, that's presumably Marty heading back to 1955. One theory has posited that Doc Brown is sending 1985 Marty either to his death or exiling him in time to make room for the returning 1955 Marty. Had he allowed 1985 Marty to continue living, he would have gone back to 55 to meet the Marty already there. So the only reason I don't... That's the thing that, there are two versions of Marty have been running around in Hill Valley. Would have been running around Hill Valley in 1985. No, because time for those people moves forward. So Marty goes back to 1955 to that exact moment. Then he comes to 85 and he sees the version of him in 85 go back to 1955 again. That is resetting that loop. That loop is resetting. And then there's a new line that starts with him coming, with the George punch. And he leaves, comes back. So to me, I think that one... That still kind of works for me. I think I figured I've come to terms with Marty going back over and over and over again. He lived in a world where it's Lone Pine Mall, but now he goes back and he doesn't realize he's the reason it becomes Lone Pine Mall. But the Marty we follow doesn't even, maybe he notices the difference later, like, oh wow, it's now Lone Pine Mall. That's crazy. And Christopher Lloyd again in another interview said, Doc would never send Marty off to his death in any kind of scenario. Doc couldn't live with that. No kidding. So that is 5 popular Back to the Future fan theories examined, and I debunked or disagreed with a couple definitely, and some a little bit. There was one other Reddit thing that I don't know where it is exactly. Do I have it open here? I like this one. This one was actually pretty funny. It said, did I lose it? It said, well, I lost it. But anyway, it's how did Doc get into the DeLorean? And I'm like, wait, what is that? What do you mean? How did Doc get into the DeLorean? And then I realized, the car has those Gulf wind. No, it's not on Reddit. I apologize. It's on a Stack Exchange. I thought that was for like website stuff. Anyway, it's in something in like a section called sci-fi fiction and fantasy, science fiction and fantasy. I'll put a link to this in the show notes too. How did Doc get into the DeLorean? This was added 5 years and 9 months ago by, I don't know, but it says kudos to Wad Cheber for inspiring this question. So I don't know who wrote it, but anyway, it just shows the car backing up out of the truck, right? And Doc had to get in the car. Now, with the way the doors open, how did Doc get into the car? Obviously, it's a mistake. But in real life, it's a mistake. But in me trying to correct everything and make sense out of everything to make this perfect, obviously, Doc wanted to make a special entrance. So he got into the car, drove up, closed the truck with the remote. Then he waited until he heard Einstein bark. He was like, okay. Boom, open the door again. Or did Einstein bark? I don't remember. But then he heard Marty outside. He's like, now is my moment. Opens the truck. And then, boom, he backs out to make the big entrance. Obviously, this is me trying to make sense of something here. And then someone talks about maybe climbing the windows, and it shows tiny windows on a DeLorean. There's a lot of writing going on here. There's actually even a video called DeLorean Door Myth. I have not watched this yet. I'm literally reading more about this right now as I see this. So I'm going to put this link in the show notes if you want to check it out. And I'm going to watch this DeLorean Door Myth. And if it's something interesting, I will talk about it in the future.
You're strolling through the parking lot. You see us struggling in the car. You walk up, you open the door, and you say, "You're lying, George."
Oh, hey you, get your damn hands off her.
You really think I ought to swear? Yes, definitely. God damn it, George, swear.
I never want to miss my favorite program, science fiction theater. And it's a little crazy to explain. Got a visit from a Vulcan named Darth Vader. Told me he'd melt my brain if I don't ask out Lorraine. Please, Lorraine, please, Lorraine. Please, Lorraine, please, Lorraine. Please, Lorraine, please, Lorraine. My name is George, I'm your density. Oh, please, Lorraine. Now I know you're going to the dance with Marty. But Marty says he has a plan. Hey, yeah. He says he's gonna do things you won't wanna. I'll come rescue you from that young man. Sweet Lorraine, sweet Lorraine. Sweet Lorraine, sweet Lorraine. Sweet Lorraine, sweet Lorraine. Time to say, hey, you get your damn hands off of Lorraine. Oh no, oh no, oh no, it's Biff Tannen. Said I got the wrong car, walk away. No way. I said no, Biff, you leave her alone. He almost broke my arm, but I knocked him out for Lorraine. My Lorraine, my Lorraine. My Lorraine,
Lorraine, my Lorraine. I kissed her on the dance floor, now she's mine for life, Lorraine.
Like I've always told you, you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The website, of course, is fansnotexperts.com. We did it. 14 days, 2 weeks, but we're not done. We're not even halfway done. We'll see you again tomorrow for another dashing episode of Marchy McFly from Geek Mentality. But until then, here's my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.
What are you looking at, butthead?